Let's all take a deep breath in through the mouth. Hold the breath, focus deeply at your third eye. And slowly exhale. Inhale again through the mouth. Hold the breath, focus deeply at your third eye. And slowly exhale. Inhale again through the mouth. Hold the breath, focus deeply at your third eye. Slowly exhale. Slowly open your eyes, and if you feel like it, come into this space. How are you? So nice to have Marty here tonight, huh? Beautiful. What a great instrument sitar is, isn't it? So beautiful. Sitar and the veena. How are you all? All good? So anything you want to share or bring into this space? Yes, Diane.
I have heard that there are 14 worlds, 14 different universes. And how do you begin the path to penetrate or to experience them?
I don't think there are 14. I think there is at least 7 billion different universes. Within this room, there are at least 80 different universes. The universe doesn't exist without the witness of the universe. The universe expresses itself through the consciousness of the experiencer of the universe. So right here are so many universes, is it not? Colliding, parallel dimensions of universes colliding here in this very moment. It has never happened in the history of these universes before in exactly this way. Huh? They have never merged like this. You have not been here for a long time. So your universe showed up after a very long time today. Your universe was hanging out in another dimension. So you see, those metaphysical ideas of multi-dimensional universes and parallel universes and so on and so forth, I think they are wonderful theoretical conversations. They make for great books to pass your time. After all, time we must pass. But the most important universe, the only gateway to the infinite is the universe you inhabit right now in this very moment, which originates from this moment and ends at this moment. From here it big bangs into infinite dimensions, and here in this very moment it collapses back into nothingness. It begins and ends here. And that is the most important point of entry and exit, is your consciousness. Because when we speak of multi-dimensional universes, so on and so forth, a lot of time we speak of them as inert. To comprehend, inert, as separate from you and I. But where is the separation between the universe and self? If the whole universe is consciousness, the whole universe is consciousness, and you are consciousness manifest, you and the universe are inseparable, is it not? The body is local, consciousness is not local. It's not local, our consciousness. And as we were sharing, it was last Monday or last to last, that the space between us is not a separator, right? That's an illusion. The space between you, Diane, and I, and everybody in between, and Mr. Saturn with its beautiful rings, and Andromeda. We think because of the limitations of our neurological function and the senses, we are limited with our senses, that there is a separation. But if the space is alive between you and I, it is actually inseparable. That's the fact. Then where do you begin and where do you end? If as long as you are identified just as an isolated event happening in this body, then you begin and end here, and that's a pathetic life, I think. Then what's the point? You might as well just pass the time. Is it not? But when you open up to your consciousness, to your essential nature, you begin to really experience the vastness of you. The mind, when it experiences this vastness of self, ends. It becomes silent because it cannot cope. It cannot contain this insurmountable, this infinite amount of intelligence. So it has to become silent, absolutely silent, isn't it? There is silence. And then you are not you anymore. Huh? That is love. That is the ultimate love. In the human love, there is you and I, and then I love you because I want you. Is it not? I want you. When the human love is there, in that love there is a wanting, there is a need, there is an ownership, there is an idea. But when you make contact with that, self in you, there is no two. There is not even a one. There is not even this anymore. There is pure infinite consciousness. So that is multi-dimensional. You talk about 14, 15, 18, multi. Huh? Anybody who says there is 14 is bullshitting. Absolutely. Somebody says there are 7, somebody will say there are. This is all, there is no way. Is it not on the level of the mind to speak of it? There is one thing for sure, there is multi-dimensions of universe on it, because there is, if this bang bang, then what is keeping from other bangs from banging? And spontaneous banging is happening. Spontaneously, is it not? Like you banged one day and you are here all of a sudden. Without any particular merit, it's like, how am I here? Is it not? That's how the universe was birthed. That's how we are born, with a scream and we don't enter quietly, neither did the universe. Universe entered with a scream and a shout. And this body also enters the same way. They scream and a shout. And then the illusion of linear time begins. Second law of entropy starts to happen in the universe, and so in this body. As within, so without. The law is very clear. There is no separation. So, forget the 14 dimensions. You enter your dimension fully. That is the portal. That is the portal to infinity. Infinity. Because that is what bangs constantly. In the Vedas it says, know that from knowing which everything else is known. Know that from knowing which everything else is known. And that is the timeless. Because only when we know the timeless in us, then everything that is in time will be known in it. Is it not? By its very nature. And it's not a loud knowledge. It's not a knowledge which is loud. The mind's knowledge is very loud. Have you experienced your knowledge in the mind? How loud it is? And it wants to make sure everybody around knows that it knows. It is so pathetic, that knowing. There is nothing. It is the source of all violence in the world. This knowing, this idea of knowing, oh, I got the answer. But the true knowing is very silent, utterly silent, utterly humbling, utterly innocent, utterly innocent. True intelligence will always be accompanied by innocence. If intelligence is not being accompanied by innocence, it's not intelligence, it is just intellectual data. Just data. You are nothing more than Google. A more pathetic version of Google. Is it not? Just a aging version of Google. But the true knower is utterly innocent. True intelligence is accompanied by utter silence in you. Utter silence. Whenever you will wake up to your intelligence, the true intelligence, you will experience utter silence. A silence which is deeply loving, deeply compassionate, deeply innocent. There is no arrogance there. There is no idea, oh, I know. None of that is there. That is the greatest portal, that being. You know Swami Purushothamananda? Do you know? Do you know Purushothamananda? Do you know Michael Jackson? No? Don't be embarrassed. I'm not saying he was not great. You are laughing. I'm just asking you a very simple question. It is just cultural difference. Not many people knew Purushothamananda. But he lived in the Vashishta's cave. And how many of you been to the Vashishta's cave? Few of you, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of you, maybe 10 of you here. In India, in Lakshman Jhula, above from Rishikesh, I lived in that, not in that cave, the cave outside for few months on 2 occasions. And Purushothamananda, when he left his body, he lived in that cave for almost 50 years. That's long time, no? But to him, it was not long time. He was enjoying the show. When you're enjoying the show, there is no long time. Is it not? When you're not enjoying the show, even 15 minutes can be excruciatingly long. That is the ultimate joy. Know that joy by knowing which all joy is known. Know that by knowing which all knowledge is known. Connect with that by connecting through which all love is known. So as he was in this cave and he's leaving his body, time to say bye-bye. Outside his cave, he's been here for human beings, 50 years seems so long, but for him, of course, it was short. But he just wrote, his final words were, outside the cave, they're still hanging. Scribbled in Hindi, 10 lines or something. You want to hear? I just want to be sure, you know. We live in a democracy. At any point you don't want to listen, just raise your hand like this and then go down and close both your ears. So, Purushothamananda, the board says, the human being is like the deer, the mythical deer, Kasturi deer. In the Himalayan region, this deer is found called Kasturi, who emanates this fragrance. What is it called?
Musk.
Musk deer, musk, right? And it runs throughout the forest, looking for the source of this fragrance throughout the forest. Throughout the forest. Same is like human being. The source of that fragrance is right at its very core. It's very core. The very fabric of the human being is that fragrance, but he or she is running all over. And if you're American, it's running, it's very busy. It's very busy. American people are the busiest people in the world. They are busy. In LA, everybody is busy doing nothing. But they are busy. Don't be embarrassed, it's okay. So, it says, through my experience, I speak to you this through my experience. Within your own being, within your own essential nature, there is the infinite ocean of bliss. Don't hear these words that I say, they are meaningless. Feel them. Feel the depth of this great being who devoted his life to the very discovery of that, by knowing which everything is known, and that's all he left are these few words. No scripture, no huge book, no stone, no religion, nothing. Didn't leave you a religion. Didn't leave you a temple or a mosque. Just a humble cave with no doors. Now his disciples are putting doors and timing and all that happens. No? That within your own being is this infinite ocean of bliss. A mere drop of this ocean. A mere drop of this ocean can liberate you for lifetimes. A mere drop of this ocean of bliss can liberate you, fulfill you for lifetimes. But due to ignorance, you keep looking for it. You keep looking for it and you never give up your search because you are too afraid. You have been indoctrinated that you will not find it here but elsewhere. So you keep looking for it in churches, in mosques, in temples, in relations, is money, in everything but here in the very core of your nature. Thereby I invite you, he says, through my experience, believe me not, but I just take it as an invitation. I invite you to taste a drop from your ocean of bliss. And be fulfilled for lifetimes. Lifetimes. Too simple, no? No, thou shalt not do this, thou shalt not do that. How can I be such a imperfect human being and taste from the ocean? Is it not? That's what the mind says. Are you aware of it? Where are the commandments? Tell me the commandments. Thou shalt not be gay, but thou shalt kill other people, no problem. Thou shalt kill other men, okay, but thou shalt not make love to other men. That's difficult. Big problem. If you want to kill other men, kill, no problem. Do it. Is he Christian? No Christian. Kill him, no problem. Is he Muslim? No Muslim. Kill. You want to have sex with other men? You will go to hell. Can't do it. No. Are you aware of that? But he did not leave anything like that, Purushothamananda. He said, simply arrive. No matter who you are, no matter what personality disorder you have, what prescription medication you are on. I know none of you are on it, but you understand, there are everybody else. No matter what your story is, doesn't matter. That's all a movie going on the screen. Just a movie going on the screen. The essential nature of who you are is untouched. It has eternally been here, untouched. Untouched by pain, untouched by suffering, untouched by violence, untouched by any conditioning. The essential nature of who you are has always been absolutely, infinitely magnificent and full of love. That's the truth. But can the truth be understood by the mind? No way. No way. Why? Because the mind is a liar. The mind exists in time. It exists in time. Time is always insufficient. It's never sufficient. Are you aware of it? Yeah, take any theory, any scientific theory, any medical theory, and you test it through the test of time. After a while, that very theory will be in a dustbin. Have you seen how many theories do you know about, which were once the theory, and now it's in the dustbin? What we call the cutting edge of technology, 5 decades from now, they will be teaching kids in high school. Are you aware of that? What to you seems like, oh, this, right? I mean, we are carrying quantum mechanics in our pocket, right? Principles of quantum mechanics in our pocket, in our cell phones, iPhones. You don't use iPhones, I do, you know. You are, none of you are iPhone people. But are we aware of that? That in time, this quantum mechanics, which seems to be such a cutting edge idea, right, will be taught to high school kids. Newtonian physics will not be taught anymore, isn't it? Are we aware of it or no? How many of you, any science students? Yeah. Right, Malini? Watch, so that keeps changing because time cannot know the truth. Time can only know information, which keeps changing, keeps altering, keeps fluctuating. But the truth is beyond information. It's not an information, it's not an indoctrination. These are not commandments. Truth is not a commandment. Truth is a no man's land. It belongs to nobody. You can belong to truth, but truth will never belong to you or anyone. It cannot belong to a human being. It cannot belong to a group of people. It cannot belong to any religion. It cannot belong to any country. But you can belong to it. And the moment you belong to the truth, you are free. You are free in that moment. Are we aware right now? Can you sense that in you which has been eternally here? Yes or no?
Yes.
Why do we need to fight so hard? Lighten up a little bit. Get out of your drama box. Yeah? Is it not? Stop trying to save yourself. Yes, but there are so many buts. But what about this? What about that? There is no end to it. There are more buts in your mind than the stars in the visible universe. Do you know that? Is it not? That's a fact. The human brain is capable of more synapses than the stars in the visible universe. And most of the synapses are but. Is it not? Intellectual buts. But what about that? But about what? What about my children? But what about my job? Food is thrown all over the earth. The divine threw food all over the earth. Water, air, everything is here. Is it not? And we have made it so complicated. That you need to be a millionaire to go buy organic food. If you want to eat synthetic food made in factories, that is cheap. But the bounty of earth, which is for free, you have to pay a lot. That's good. We are funny people. Is it not? But we are very arrogant with our culture, with our ideas, with our knowledge, with our all of it. We think we have the answer. So I invite you. As the beginning when I came this summer, it's at the beginning of time it seems like now. We talked about simplicity. I invite you as I move from here to another here, to arrive to simplicity. First, the authentic simplicity. An authentic human being is a simple human being, simple. No complications in the mind, no buts, no stories, none of it. Simply in love, with the sheer brilliance and mystery of this ever-expanding, infinitely full of love song. Is it not? This universe is a song. It has no beginning, no end. Only inside the mind there is a beginning and the end. The space between you and I is a connector, not a separator. Drink up. Happy hours all the time. In LA, there are not that happy hour culture. Huh? In DC, it's very big. Anybody from DC? Yes, right? You go on in DC, that's the only time people are happy. It's the 2 hours time. You look very happy. Of course, it's happy hour. You really see people are laughing and talking, but not during the day. Everybody is in a suit, even when it's hot, like anything. What to do? We are funny creatures, but yet very arrogant. Is it not? Yes. So the wiser you get, the more innocent you will get. You will cry easily, but you will laugh easily. Your tears will not be tears of baggage. Your tears will be tears of compassion. You will be moved by life easily. Moved by life. Your seeking, this endless seeking will disappear. You will feel you don't seek much. That doesn't mean you're not passionate. You're passionate, but you're not, that false drive is not there, which people confuse as passion, that drive, which is ambition. Ambition which is violent, which doesn't let you be where you are, which is constantly looking for what is not. Who I am and who would I rather be, what I have and what would I rather have, is it not? But as you really align yourself to that great innate ocean of bliss in you, you realize there is a spontaneity which starts to happen, a natural birthing of compassion, a natural letting go. No rigidity can remain in you. No fear can remain in you. No conflict can remain in you. If there is conflict remaining in you, then you need to go deeper into your ocean. You're not in the ocean, you're still swimming in a tub. No matter how fancy the tub is, sooner or later you better get out. Even if it is with all the jets and everything. And has the ocean view, right? I cannot be in a tub ever. It's not my thing. I don't understand it. I grew up swimming in the river, sitting only in the Ganga water, so it's difficult. I must learn. But as you come really, this is the fact, as you will move deeper into your ocean of bliss, you will radiate bliss. And it's not happy all the time bliss. There is this innocent bliss, this deep bliss in you, which arises at tears at times, which will arise as compassion at times, it will arise as deep sadness at times, it will arise at ecstatic joy at times. But underneath all those movements will be this profound, equanimous flow of peace, fearless peace. Fearless. That's your essential nature. Right here, right now. That's the fact. The idea of suffering, all the problems you have. Do you have problems in life? Anybody? All the problems are your ideas, your attachments, your war against the very fabric of who you are, your deep, deep commitment to destroy yourself. Because if you give up those ideas of that, how it needs to be, what remains? What remains is that which has eternally been here, always. Are you aware of it or no? When the struggle ends, what remains? What remains? But with that story always comes with a but, is it not? Huh? Are you aware of it? If you have a problem, it's your problem, then you know how to explain it, is it not? How to make sense of it, why it actually is a problem. Are you aware of it or no? You don't understand, it's my life, you don't understand how it feels. how it feels to be abundant. Have you been abundant ever?
Yes.
What an idea that is, no? All happening on the movie. How can you abandon yourself ever? How can God ever be abundant? Can God ever be abundant? Can God be ever abundant? Impossible. Only in an illusion that can happen. As long as we are not realizing this, we can never arrive to true peace. No? Never. Never. Only when we realize the essential God nature of who we are, will we arrive to peace, will we arrive to compassion. Otherwise, it's all narcissistic movements with spiritual jargon. Are you aware of it or no? With, of course, conscious consumption habits, which is always helpful. Right? I hope you all shop consciously. No? Whole Foods or farmer's market, or no? Good. You alkaline your body properly, eat lot of greens and green juices. Yes or no? You must do it. You must take care of it. Body requires certain things. We must respect it and honor it. But as you walk from here, realize that you actually, only the body moves. Your consciousness is ever present. Only the body travels. So this body will travel. Tomorrow it has to go many places. But this body travels. The consciousness doesn't travel. Consciousness is everything, everywhere, all the time. The body is local. It moves in space and time. Consciousness is beyond space-time. Space-time is all an expression of consciousness. You are one of the most brilliant expressions of consciousness. And when you essentially realize your nature, then all conflict ends, all fear ends, all idea of loss, all idea of the other starts to end. Don't believe it. Try it. Try it on. And then see. Know that by knowing which everything is known. Discover that joy in which all joy is contained. Connect to that through which all love is discovered. The ultimate love. It's right here, isn't it? Huh? So as Marty plays this magnificently ancient Saraswati's instrument, close your eyes and just remain effortlessly here. Drop all effort. Drop all trying. Drop the struggle. And see, as you close your eyes, if you can really drink from the ocean of bliss. The physical eyes, when they close, is helpful. Maybe your soul's eyes can see better then. So, close the eyes. No matter where you are, no matter what your story is, no matter what you know and no matter what you don't, No matter where you have failed, what you have achieved, no matter how much pain you carry inside of you, no matter where you come from or where you want to go, no matter what situation, what circumstance, what story is going on right now in your life, but just see if you can for a moment surrender into your own essential nature, which has always been here, untouched by all indoctrination, untouched by all karma, untouched by any story. Just take a glimpse. Just take a sip out of your own ocean of bliss. Right now, in this very moment, simply, without any complications, without struggling, simply, effortlessly, drop into the ocean of bliss. The silent ocean of bliss. The silent ocean of bliss. The silent ocean of bliss. Realize this ocean is who you essentially are. This body is just a wave arising out of this ocean. It will eventually merge back into this very ocean from where it arises. But even though it arises from the ocean, it is still at its very core just an expression of ocean, not separate from it. For the next few minutes, just feel this ocean moving in you. Feel the ocean moving in you. See this body as just a wave arising out of this ocean and merging back into the ocean. Inseparable from the ocean you are. Inseparable from the ocean you are. I request you to turn inward and realize who you are. In this very moment, Even as you move in this body, in this space, see as you move through, if you can retain a part of attention focused on the ocean. As you move as the wave, be aware of the ocean. As you move as the wave, be aware of the ocean. As you move as the wave, be aware of the ocean. May you all realize your own ocean of bliss. As you move in space and time as waves, may you be aware of the ocean beneath the wave. Know that by knowing which everything else is known. Discover that by discovering which all love, all joy is known.
Thank you.